issues so that we know what we're kind of working with today. And so in this phase of the mediation, the three of you are actually going to be in dialogue with each other. And we're going to kind of take a step back from this, Katie, Joe, and I. And so we really want you to start talking about how these issues have affected you, and trying to speak from a position of how these things like hurt you, instead of how they have angered you. So trying to focus on feeling frustration or fear, things like that, instead of just outright anger. And so as the other people are speaking, please be attentive to what they're saying, because we're going to have you paraphrase what they have said. And so just try to highlight like their major points, and to really better understand their positions on these issues. We're going to start with Addie. So if you could just address Jess and Tate and tell them how this conflict has made you feel, that would be great. Thank you.
I was not available for work over the weekend because I was going home to visit a family member. And to me, human connection is so much more important than schoolwork. I honestly don't care what grade we get. It's just not that important to me.
And Jess, could you just paraphrase what Addie just said?
Yeah, Addie said that she feels like we don't respect that her family is more important than her classes, and that she values human connection and she doesn't care about our grade.
All right, and Jess, if you could just speak about the conflict. And
Well, I feel a little attacked, honestly, because I feel like Tate thinks that I don't respect that he has tennis and games and matches or whatever they're called, and Addie thinks that I don't value human connections. I mean, she looked right at me when she said that, but I mean, I have family too, and I have friends, and like I said, I have extracurriculars that I'm invested in as well. So it's not that I don't value those things. I just think that these two aren't valuing our academic commitments, which we have to value, because grades shouldn't matter. Maybe that's the reality of it. We shouldn't have as much emphasis on them as we do, but the reality is that we do have them. And you're not going to have those human connections with your bosses in the future if you don't have good grades now. And I'm not going to have the human connection at all if I don't keep up my scholarship here. And I don't think you can even throw your racket around if you don't have a good enough GPA, right? So, I mean, I feel really stressed out, and I feel like I am the bad guy in this situation, and they both just think I'm a horrible, cold-hearted person.
And Tate, could you just paraphrase what Jess said?
Sure. So Jess feels attacked by Addie and I because she feels that we do not think that she values human connection, and she also thinks that we don't understand that that she doesn't have like family or other commitments outside of schoolwork, and that she believes that grades do matter and that we should value our schoolwork.
And then Addie, is there anything that you would like to add to that?
Not at this time.
Jess, do you feel like that was an adequate paraphrasing of what you said?
I think so.
Okay. And now Tate, if you could just talk about the conflict and how it's affected you.
Sure. So like I've said before, I mean, I have other commitments, and I feel like especially Jess doesn't believe that doesn't value those commitments at all. Like, they don't matter. That I do this like just for like a fun thing. I don't. I mean, I think college isn't just a time to grow as a student, but to grow as an individual. And tennis allows me to do that with my leadership development. And you're not going to be able to thrive in the workplace if you cannot connect with people and you can't lead in a certain way. I manage my team of about 8 individuals. That's more than I can do than researching history. I mean, I will use tennis more than what I do with this class. So yes, I value my time more in tennis.
Addie, would you please paraphrase what Tate said?
Tate feels that tennis really gives him a leadership opportunity, and that's one of the biggest things in his life, and so he's putting commitment in that, but he has a commitment to school as well. But he doesn't feel like the commitment to tennis is being valued.
Jess, is there anything you would like to add to that?
To the paraphrase, no.
So I feel like we're not exactly ready to move on yet. So we just want to kind of go around again and figure out, where all of our feelings are.
So we're going to have you all go through again and just really get those issues out there, because we want to be sure that we're all understanding where each other is coming from. And so when the other people are talking, please be attentive to that. And whenever you're paraphrasing, be sure to address the person that had just spoke, because we really want you to engage with each other. Katie, Joe, and I are here just to basically listen right now, and this process is going on through the three of you and not necessarily the two of us. So we really want you three to be engaging with each other during this process. So Jess, if you could just go through this again.
Tate, I just really want you to know that I really do appreciate why tennis is important to you. It's the same reason that Student Senate is important to me, and my being a soul is important to me, I don't think that tennis needs to be your ultimate priority all the time. And I think that when working with a group with the three of us, I feel like because tennis is always your priority, it's affecting us. And so I think that you just need to compromise a little bit more. But I want you to know that I really do understand. I think that outside the classroom learning is just as important, if not more important sometimes, than schoolwork. But you can't have it if you're not also doing your schoolwork.
So, Jess, you believe that you understand that tennis is important to me, but you believe that it's shouldn't always be the number one priority in my life, and that schoolwork, although may not be as important sometimes, does play an important role.
And Tate, could you just speak again?
Yeah, so another issue that I haven't really talked about here yet is that Addie doesn't seem to be doing much of anything. It's hard to get her connected. I feel like if any time Jess and I are doing the bulk of the work, and it's kind of unfair to me, for me and Jess to do most of it, and let Addie get the same grade that we were doing, even though we're putting in the majority of the work.
Okay, and Addie, would you please paraphrase what Tate shared?
Tate thinks that it's unfair for me to get the same grade as Jess and him because they don't feel like I'm participating to my fullest. They don't believe that I'm putting in my fair share of work.
And Addie, could you just speak a little bit about how you don't care about this grade, just so Tate and Jess can understand that?
Ooh. I don't really care about the grade we get in this class. For me, it's more about what I learn, what I what I gain from this class. And so by going to lectures and doing individualized papers, that makes a lot of sense to me. This group work doesn't, it's preventing me from going and doing something that I really want to do and that I prepared to do, which is go home for the weekend.
I can't believe you even just said that. I just feel like it's really selfish because even if you don't care,
Jess, can
yeah.
Yeah. Let's just dial that back a little bit. And I just want to make sure that you are understanding what she said and not necessarily passing judgment on what she said.
Okay. I understand. Would you like me to paraphrase it again?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay. Addie, you really wanted to go home this weekend, and you had planned for that and prepared for that and were excited for that, and your learning style is that you get more out of the lectures and doing the assignments on your own, So you feel like this group work isn't really benefiting you anyway, and that's why you don't care what grade we get.
Addie, do you feel like that was an adequate paraphrasing of what you said?
I think so.